Eugenia, guys, don't call the cops about me. I don't want to waste their time and resources. Also, Eugenia, the police cops gave me a tour of the station, and I made an IG video. Eugenia, you need help. I'm sure the police cop men were very nice to you, but you're still severely anorexic. Get real and get help. That is all. When she said that, I was so angry. You need help, Eugenia. Stop acting like you're immortal and all that crap. The theory about Eugenia's channel being part of a human trafficking scheme. I was revisiting the times Eugenia admitted to being taken advantage of when she was a minor, the predator problem in her community, and the overall nature of her videos. And there's no denying that this paints an extremely disturbing picture. I can't help but wonder if Eugenia and the predators in her community are continuing the cycle by using her channel for human trafficking purposes. There's a reason why people say she knows exactly what she's doing. Why she did little to nothing regarding the Discord situation. Why she allows the mods in her Twitch to silence criticism. Why she allows certain disturbing comments into the Twitch chat. Why the Cooney family owns 2 houses, one of which was owned by the Mafia, and is allegedly riddled with laundering issues, and why people want the Cooney family to be investigated. They're likely all in on it, or at the very least complicit. Of course, this is just a theory, but one we shouldn't disregard. Make no mistake, Eugenia might be deteriorating in every sense of the word, but she is not stupid. I think she's just fostering a sexually charged environment to profit off of anorexia fetishists, while trying to maintain her younger audience as well. As other anorexic influencers have discussed, there is a huge market for that sort of content, and they get approached about it often once they drop to a certain weight. Since Eugenia already had an audience of younger teens, she's trying to blend both types of content to make as much of a profit as possible without risking her reputation. She knows who she's catering to, and likely so does her mom, but I really think she's genuinely just naive about how dangerous the people in her audience are. She openly reads emails and mocks men who are sexually harassing her, twerks in public, and Jacqueline mentioned how she would give random men her number when she felt uncomfortable and put on the spot. It took her being called out for not taking the predator in her Discord seriously because she sees other people's problems. All of them, sexual or otherwise, as in, I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, I hope it gets better though, XOXO situation. She has clear cognitive decline and a total lack of any socialization, so I think she just doesn't know what an issue with serious gravity and real-world consequences. Her dad may be involved in some shady financial stuff, as most higher-ups in finance usually are, and perhaps engaged in some laundering activity regarding a house. But I've known other people who have lived in former mafia houses too. That doesn't necessarily have any bearing on their own activities. People want her family investigated because there's a severely unhealthy girl who is being encouraged and enabled by her parents who seem to have no problem with her exploiting her illness for attention. I think human trafficking is a serious reach when there's no evidence of any nefarious activity outside of weird creeps in her chat, who she is clearly catering her content to, and one sexual predator who tried to chat with a minor in her community that she shrugged off, like she does with everything else in her life, including her illness. She's more like one of those weird shows on YouTube with overtly sexual or inappropriate themes that she still caters to children to the absolute horror of everyone above a certain age, like Elsagate, or those weird Facebook fetish videos where they make crazy recipes, where a woman is putting her hands into a disgusting amount of food. And I think that's bad enough on its own. She knows what she's doing, and she's obvious about it. If she were committing any serious criminal behavior, she wouldn't talk about the sexual messages she gets so openly. I don't think we need to assign any conspiracies to what is clearly playing out in front of us. I had a dream I took Eugenia to the hospital. I blame frequenting the subreddit for this dream. LOL. She's extremely tiny. Her hair was twice as thin as it already is. She was weak. I picked her up bridal style and carried her to my car. Explained I was taking her to the ER because she was sick. She was weakly sobbing and begging me not to, unable to fight back, and that she wanted her mom. I noticed her teeth were falling out and rotting. I told her I would let her mom know when she's in the ER, but we had to go. I placed her in the car, and that was the end of the dream. Would EC even be any type of famous or popular if she didn't have an ED? I mean, let's get real. Her personality sucks. Her fake voice is awful. She talks about the most boring nothing for literal hours. Her makeup videos are bad. She's very uninteresting. It doesn't seem like she has any actual talent. I could go on and on. If it weren't for fetishists, Finspo, and all of us watching this incredibly sad public train wreck, who would watch her content? I mean, all of it is pretty awful, right? Has she ever made anything remotely entertaining? Let's get real here. Who thinks it's a major factor why she won't recover? Because she's afraid no one would watch her boring videos. Honestly, if she did recover, I think content posted has the potential to be so incredibly inspiring. It could completely change everything. But that's just wishful thinking now, right? Sorry if it's been discussed or if it's not allowed. But I just finished reading I'm Glad My Mom Died, and I feel like people here would enjoy it because it was very eye-opening in how EDs can begin, how all-consuming they can be, and how hard they can be to escape. It made me wonder if Eugenia's story could be similar, and if her relationship with her mom is codependent, and partly why she ended up being here. Yes! Just finished it, and thought of EC during those chapters. How anorexia can be a preservation of childhood, how it's the product of a chaotic environment, how it's the in-control ED. So many parallels. I'm thrilled for Jeanette. It's so hard to break out those behaviors, but she's staying consistent. I wish Eugenia would try, as monumentally difficult as it is. Do you believe Jacqueline? Jacqueline posted a video after the infamous Shane Eugenia interview and explained everything that had happened on the day of 5150. She also mentioned some things Eugenia told them about her mom. I think both of the versions of the story are pretty aligned. The only contested truth between them is that Eugenia said it came out of nowhere, and they made no effort to help her with less extreme measures before following her into forced rehab. And Jacqueline believes she did try to discuss things first. I think both are true in their own real view of the world. Jacqueline probably did feel like she brought it up. It was brushed off. Eugenia probably did feel like it came out of nowhere, and didn't like feeling sprung. I think the main guilty player who planted the bomb and skipped away with clout and views is Katie. I feel like she misled Jacqueline with some terrible advice, and took none of the responsibility for the fallout. Do I believe Jacqueline acted in what she believed were Eugenia's best interests? Yes. Do I think 5150 was the best move, even though it may have saved her life? Probably not. Sadly and frustratingly, you can't force recovery on anyone who doesn't want to change. They have to want to recover for themselves. I wonder if it had gone differently and they had a serious sit-down intervention with Eugenia that didn't involve locking her up that day. If maybe there was a road where she would have gotten out for herself, but we will never know. Ultimately, Eugenia won't recover until she chooses recovery. Hey, Eugenia. This is a letter from an alternate you. Edit. Yikes! I'm very sorry to all those that my post has offended. I have some reflecting to do as to how it was tone deaf, but I promise you it was not to flex about my own life. I never meant that anybody with an ED has to be at a certain point at any stage in life. My point is that I'm the same age as Eugenia, and remember her from when we were both teens, and I see her wasting her life away, and I'm sad. I've had a mild ED before, and yes, I can't imagine being that far deep into hers. But she also is a great hazard to herself and millions of people with her contact. I wish all the best to others and her. I just wanted to showcase that you can be skinny and still live an amazing life not worrying about your weight. It's not skinny enough, which EDs certainly seem to make us think. Hey Eugenia, somewhere in high school, you and I split paths. We were so similar, so cheery, and funny and outgoing. I'm 27 now too, but I don't recognize you. I admit I lost track of your path for a few years over and over again, but that's because I was busy living my own life. It looks you missed out on just about everything I was able to do because of Well, I don't need to say it. I think you know it's all you have. See, I'm a skinny brunette too these days. Always have been, and probably always will be. But I'm skinny fit because I love sports and walks and hikes and being silly. But skinny is not my whole personality. I'm 27, like you. I'm married to the person I've been with for 8 years. And we have a 1-year-old daughter together. It's a magnificent life. We have a home together. I love my parents. I have a great relationship with my family. But I wouldn't like living with them anymore. My life has progressed so much since high school. Even more so than the baby, the husband, the house, the career. I love volleyball. I volunteer. I love my job. I go to the beach. I love to cook. I read. I write. I take photos. I love to shop. Still lots of clothes that don't fit me in stores, but I'm a healthy BMI. Happy weight on these bones of mine. I'm quite petite. A good petite. The kind that doesn't send people looking away in fear. I always get comments on how good I look. And people always think I look so young. But I don't calorie count. I don't restrict at all. I eat what I want. I try my best to be healthy. It's a good life. I calorie counted once years ago and I hated that. I hate this all for you. I can't imagine what your life is like on the daily. From what I see, I'm very sad for this version of you. There's so much more you could do, and maybe in 10 years we'll be more similar than not. I hope that for you. I know there's other versions of us at 27 who are traveling Europe, performing on stage, doing so much more than making pointless videos and getting empty compliments from creeps online. So whatever it is you're doing now, it's not worth it. I know it. All the love and happiness and joy you're missing out on, you can still have it while being skinny. A good skinny. You don't need to be the skeleton queen because it looks awfully lonely. Please live. Live your life outside this world of deprivation and attention, looking like a little girl. When we're closer to 30 than 20. Whatever that means for you. Please do more. You can. I know it. You still have time to turn this around into a life that blossoms into a beautiful garden instead of flowers rotting in a graveyard. Maybe you like that aesthetic, but it's not life. It's not even living. My theory is that she has scurvy. The splotches of red on her legs are a classic scurvy sign. If you Google scurvy legs, you will see what I mean. The issue is the scurvy is progressive, so it will keep getting worse until something is done about it. It's also very painful. Fuck Deb for labeling EC's bullcrap to let her in such a state and refusing to do a thing about it. Yeah, you can't make EC get help, but you can cut her off from the web and take her phone away, etc. I think her streams are actually just fetish porn funded by a few men, and there's circumstantial evidence to prove it. The only evidence is in the name of Twitch clips. It takes a keen eye to spot this, and being friends with OnlyFans girls can introduce you to this side of things. But once you see it, clear as day, I believe Eugenia's Twitch streams are a very specific type of fetish porn. And this is why so many people are downright confused when watching her. The whole point of Twitch clips are to either save crazy shit that happened in a video game, or just really good one-liners slash comments. We agree on that, correct? I want you to take a closer look at the names of clips when sorting by the 7-day or 30-day period. Some are obsessively archiving the most mundane things that are happening on streams. Me running through some of the titles if you're on your phone at work and just want a TLDR. Look what this chair can do. Can lay down in chair number 2. Blanket on chair to avoid staining. Full 360 spin. Bro, this was the highlight of the stream. On multiple streams, she reclined in a chair. Are you for real? Why did you feel the need to just save every single instance of a chair reclining? Anyways, let's go further. Giantess Eugenia, multiple of these. Moving a box, multiple of these. Adjusting, several of these. Headless Eugenia tells us we're never alone. PS5 controller instructions. No fishnets today. Feet, shoes, several of these. Bro, it's weird. Hundreds of archived clips with bizarre titles, seemingly chronicling the most mundane, insignificant acts on a livestream. Words like giantess are used, which probably go over a lot of people's heads. This is an unnatural focus on moving boxes, adjusting herself and sitting in a chair. Sometimes she does this stuff over and over again across several streams. It seems like she's following a script, albeit the worst script imaginable. She actually might be. Here's where I drop this on you. All of these household errands and random happenings of that viewers of hers seem to excessively save and then give very specific titles. This is actually a genre of porn. One with no nudity, no sex acts, and anyone would typically associate with porn. It's like a role-playing fetish, I think. Erotic struggling, is that the word for it? A safer work example can be seen at this link. Don't worry, no nudity, nothing sexual. User/epilepsia gave me some guidelines to follow. Loading to some mods, please don't delete. All videos in that screen cap, and there are many, many more, include this was a custom. If you would like your own, please email. These were intentionally scripted and filmed for money. The same kind of people who intentionally save such earth-shattering meme moments on a live stream, such as Eugenia reclining in a chair, also pay hundreds of dollars to instruct an adult actress to push a sofa across the living room. I believe this is the rabbit hole Eugenia's in. I believe there are no more than 2 to 3 wealthy individuals who pay her exorbitant amounts of money to do the most mundane tasks on stream, because they get off on it. The text she most likely reads on stream from time to time are potentially these men issuing her a script to quote-unquote perform, and / wiring money into her bank account. You are potentially watching extremely obscure erotic struggle fetish porn under the guise of a Twitch stream. Eugenia is able to play dumb because literally nobody would realize this unless I explicitly told you about it and showed you example of this stuff existing. If my theory is accurate, she is likely fully aware of all this and just goes along with it because it is absurdly easy money. That's 100% why her streams feel super unnatural, and there are tons of oddly titled clips in her 7D or 30D history. She's making fetish porn for a handful of people.